Now, to solve this, what we want to do is get a common denominator between the fractions. And the easiest way to do that is to do the clever multiply by 1 trick. So, what you would do is you'd multiply the first fraction times a clever multiple of 1 using the denominator of the other fraction. So this is 8. So we'd be 1/3 times 8 divided by 8, which is equal to 1, minus 1/8 times, then use the denominator from the other fraction in a clever multiply by 1, 3 divided by 3. Okay, so when that multiplies out, that's equal to 8 divided by 24 minus 3 divided by 24. Okay, now that you've got a common denominator, you can put the numerator and denominator together. That leaves you with 8 minus 3 divided by 24. 8 minus 3 then becomes positive 5 over 24. That's the final answer. For problem number 2, so we're going to do this in a sequence of steps. So the starting step is, let's write the original equation, minus g plus 1/2 6 minus g equals 9. Now the first thing to look at is ask, is there any application of the distributive property? In this case there is. There's a 1/2 times the group of 6 minus g. So the first step is to apply the distributive property. And so I'm going to do that to there and that to there, which is a way of just knowing that this outer symbol needs to be multiplied times everything within the group. So it's minus g plus 1/2 times 6 minus 1/2 times g is equal to 9. And that's distributive property. Okay, step C. We're just going to carry out the multiplication. So we have minus g. 1/2 times 6 is 3. Negative 1/2 times g is just minus g divided by 2 equals 9. So here we're just carrying out multiplication. Okay, the next step is, notice we have two terms, this negative g and this negative g divided by 2. They both involve the variable g. So we are going to collect the like terms and do grouping with the variable g. So, see, step D would be minus g divided by 2 plus 3 equals 9. So we're going to group like terms. Okay. The next step is where we want to do the distributive property in reverse. Notice that both of these, every item in this group has a variable g. So we're going to pull it out, and then it becomes more clear what addition we need to go on, do between these. So we're going to do g, then that would leave us with minus 1 minus 1/2. And notice you can go in reverse just to double check your work. G times minus 1 is minus g. G times minus 1/2 is negative g divided by 2. Plus 3 is equal to 9. So this is distributive property in reverse. Okay. Next, we're going to do this addition. So minus 1 minus 1/2. If we did the clever multiply by 2, this would be 2 divided by 2. So this would be minus 2 minus 1. So that would be a minus 3. G times minus 3 halves plus 3 is equal to 9. Okay, the next step is we have this 3. So we've got g on the left side, so let's stick with that. So we need to get everything else that you see over here onto this side. So we have this plus 3 outlier. So we're going to do the additive inverse of positive 3, which is negative 3, and apply that to both sides of the equation using the properties of equality. So we're going to have g minus 3 halves plus 3 minus 3 equals 9, and then we're going to apply the minus 3 on this side as well. So we're at the equality property of the minus 3 additive inverse. Okay, the next step. This leaves us with g times minus 3 halves is equal to, so this is 0, this is 6. Three minus 3 is 0. 9 minus 3 equals 6. Okay. Okay, now we need to do the multiplicative inverse of negative 3 halves. And remember, the multiplicative inverse is where you just literally swap the numerator and the denominator. So that's going to be g times negative 3 halves multiplied by negative 2/3. Okay, equals 6 times, and then anything we do on one side of the equation we have to do on the other, negative 2/3. So this is the equality property with the multiplicative inverse of negative 2/3. Okay, now notice we have negative 3 halves, that cancels. We have 2 negatives, that becomes a positive, and then we have 2 divided by 1/2, so that becomes 1. We're left with g is equal to, and then here 6 goes in, 3 divided by 6 is 2. So this would then just become 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4. And that's your final answer. And I'm going to capture that right here. 6 times negative 2/3 is equal to 6 divided by 3 times 2 times negative 2, which is 2 times negative 2, which equals negative 4. And that's it.